Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Norristown Eagle football. I'm Jeff Brandon along with Dean Behrens, and tonight the Eagles take on the Owls of Bensalem in another Suburban One League national contest on a beautiful night here at Norristown's Roosevelt Field. Dean, you couldn't ask for better weather. It's a perfect fall evening.
Perfect day to play football, perfect night. I think this game tonight is a must-win for both teams. I think Bensalem, if you look at their record, they were 0-10 last year. This year they're off to an 0-3 start. They would like to get on track to get a win, keep the kids motivated for the year. I think for Norristown, you're looking at a 1-3 record, 1-2 in the league. I think a win tonight would put them at 500. They're right back in the thick of things. A break here and there, and they're 3-1. They can have a reverse their fortunes. So I think both teams are really looking to come out strong tonight, especially in the first quarter. I think both teams are a running team. I think you're going to see a big running game tonight.
Let's talk a little bit about the Owls. They've got some real standouts at the skill positions. Super wide receiver in Krishan Lewis, real solid backfield with Keith Davis and John Howard, and Rob Dunner, real solid quarterback. And I know that's one of Roger Grove's concerns is containment on these skill positions.
Yeah, at the receiver position, Krishan Lewis is a 6'4", 200-pound wide receiver who can go get the ball.
Sounds like Michael Irvin.
Yeah, it does. It sure does. And the quarterback likes to get the ball up, and he goes up and catches it. So they like to throw that ball, let him go make his moves to catch the ball. Roger Grove is definitely concerned. Their cornerbacks are not overly tall, so they're going to try. I think the Owls will try to take advantage of that. Running the football, you have the Keith Davis. This is his first year playing football, but is a tremendous track star at Bensalem. And I think at the college level, he is being recruited heavily as a track runner. So I think it'll be a very the game will depend on the athletic talents of Davis and Lewis tonight.
And, Dean, you don't often see a Norristown team out of the gates at 1-3, but this is a young Norristown squad. You've got a junior quarterback in Chris Blake. You've got your standout running back is a sophomore in Troy Swittenberg. This team has a lot of growing to do, but I think by the end of this season, we're going to see a real solid club, and I think that we might see that emerge tonight.
I think that's what Coach Grove is thinking. He wants to get this young team, like you said, a sophomore running back, to get these kids motivated again and to get the taste of winning, to get them at 500 in the league. They should be very excited about the program that they have for the next couple years. I know they have a good group of kids. They've worked very hard in the off-season, Lipton, in the summer, and I think they just now need a breakthrough game tonight to get themselves back on track.
Let's talk about each team last week. Bensalem lost to North Penn in a high-scoring game, 42-22. The Eagles, perhaps with their toughest game of the year, a loss up in War Memorial in Doylestown to the Bucks, 24-7. But Dean, tell us about that game. I know you were there.
I think that Norristown really held its own. West had sustained a long drive and scored a touchdown, up 7-0. However, Norristown came back, got the ball down in the 17 in the second quarter, and couldn't convert and finally missed a field goal. And then West went back down and scored another touchdown to make it 14-0. And the key play there was a long pass that kind of broke Norristown's back, and they went into halftime down 14-0. It's tough to come back against Central Bucks West down 14-0.
I agree with you. The Bucks is always a fabulous game, and Norristown plays in perhaps the toughest league in all of the state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I agree with you. If there's a game that you can look on the schedule where you look, maybe put a W, I guess would be Bensalem after knowing last year they were 0-10. But if you look at their schedule, they play back here again against Neshaminy next week at Central Bucks East, then here with Council Rock. And those are three tough football teams. It's not going to get any easier.
I agree. We do have a ton of home games this year, folks. I hope if you haven't been out to Roosevelt Field yet to see the Eagles in person that you'll consider doing that. We've got 7 home games this year, this being only the second. And we have the reinstitution of the traditional Thanksgiving Day game this year against local rival Plymouth Whitemarsh, and that's really exciting, I think.
Yeah, I think it's really going to draw a lot of crowd, a lot of interest. I don't know if the people know, but the head coach of Plymouth Whitemarsh, Joe Accavetti, is a guidance counselor at the high school, and him and Coach Grove have coached together back many years ago, so there'll be kind of a rival between the two, as well as the communities of Plymouth and as well as Norristown. So I think it's really exciting for Norristown.
Absolutely, and let's go down to the field for the action tonight. The Eagles will be kicking off, and the Owls will be receiving and defending the end zone to the right of your screen. The Eagles, of course, in their home all-blue uniforms. The Owls in their white and silver tonight. Doing the kicking chores for Norristown is senior Albie Morano, number 9. 2 players back deep for the Owls. The kick is up. It's a good one. Heads towards the sideline. It's picked up at the 8-yard line by number 16, Clyde Taylor. Taylor has a decent return, but he's dropped nicely at about the 22-yard line by the Eagles.
Yeah, Morano did a nice job getting that ball to about the 10, keeping it toward the sideline, pinned him in. Al started about the 23, so it's a good field position for Norristown.
Let's give you the quick starters for the Owls at quarterback. Number 3, Rob Dunner. The backs, number 22, Keith Davis. Number 7, John Howard. Wide receiver, number 1, Krishan Lewis. And number 17, Art Brown. We'll give you the rest of the starters on offense and defense in just a moment. Lewis is wide left, Brown wide to the right. The backs are split. Lewis comes in motion. Dunner. Little play action pass, looks to the right side, rolls out. Lewis wide open, overthrown, and almost intercepted. Well, I'll tell you, Krishan Lewis was wide open there, Dean.
He sure was.
Almost picked off by Don Milligan.
He sure was wide open. It looked like they were going a little play action there. They looked like they were going to the back, and he rolled out and looking for Lewis.
The rest of those starters for the Owls across the line, they have tight end Akil Flythe. Tackles are Paul Yeager and Jason Brown. The guards, Nick Lombardo and Chris Fries. In the center, Andy Sismack. So this brings up 2nd and 10 for the Owls from their own 23-yard line, let's call it. Dunner with the long count. This time the handoff goes off the right side to Keith Davis. Well defensed by Norristown. The Eagles strung that one out nicely, Dean.
Yeah, it looked like Bobby Davis came up on the tackle, and Doug White did a pretty nice job containing the outside.
The defensive starters for the Eagles across the front. Eagles normally playing a 5-man front. Josiah Purry, James Burrell, Brian Webster, Doug White, and Yaboa Kabold. On the corners, we expect to see Ian Stead and Don Milligan with A.J. Hamaday and Garvin Stewart at the safety positions. We'll get you the linebackers in just a moment. Looks like we have number 3, Darrell Johnson, in there with number 20, Bobby Davis.
Yes. A change from last week.
Give him a yard on that last carry, bringing up 3rd and 9. The back's in the eye. Dunner with the quick drop. Ball is batted by Burrell, and I believe he's picked it off. What a play by James Burrell. Unbelievable. The Eagles take over on the interception at the 15-yard line.
James Burrell did a great job getting his hand up as the quarterback was set to throw. They tell the offensive linemen to try to get their defensive linemen's hands down, and that time Burrell was able to get his hands up and knock that pass and make a great interception on that.
Well, I tell you, for a big man, what agility to be able to follow that ball.
He's a heck of an athlete. He can move pretty well.
A golden opportunity for Norristown. In at quarterback will be number 13, Chris Blake. The backs will be number 1, Troy Swittenberg, number 10, Garvin Stewart. We'll give you the rest of those starters in just a moment, but right now, 1st and 10 for Norristown from the Owls, 16-yard line. The handoff goes to Swittenberg off the left side. He's got room. Swittenberg dropped just short of the goal line. Big gain. Call it 15 yards on the carry. It's going to bring up 1st and goal from about the 1.
That was an interesting play. Norristown went from the eye set. They pulled the right guard, James Burrell, to kick out the tackle. There's a little tackle trap and get Swittenberg up the middle there for about a gain of about 15.
The Eagle line doing a super job there. And that line consisting of Josiah Purry at tight end with DeLucia and Burrell at tackles, Doug White and Yaboa Kabold at the guards, and Brian Webster the center. So the Eagles knocking on the door here. 1st and goal from the 1. 10:27 to play in the quarter. Jimmy Zitzer comes in motion. This time they go up the middle, and oh, there is nothing there. Swittenberg is driven back, probably a 2 or 3 yard loss on the play.
Yeah, there wasn't much offensive penetration there by Norristown. The Owls were able to block that up. Rich Lee was able to make a nice tackle there, number 42.
Linebackers for the Owls, number 42 Lee, as we just said, number 69 Nick Colora, number 7 John Howard. Across the front they have Akil Flythe, John Jones, Nick Lombardo, and Sean O'Malley with Jim Beal and Krishan Lewis, the safeties. So the Eagles now losing 3 on that play. 2nd and goal from the 4. This time Swittenberg up the middle. Touchdown! 6 points for the Eagles. Nice run off the right side that time for Swittenberg. He gets the 3 yards he lost plus the 1 more for the touchdown.
I don't think it's any coincidence they were all offensive sets. All 4 were in the eye set, and let's give the ball to Swittenberg and let's see how we can do. The first one was a nice tackle trap, and the rest of them was just straight line blocking, and let's get Swittenberg the ball. Much better job on the offensive line that play.
So the Eagles on the board first here, capitalizing on the big turnover by Bensalem. course, created by James Burrell with a fabulous batted ball and interception. It's 9:44 to play here in the first quarter. Albie Morano in for the extra point. The holder, A.J. Hamaday. The snap is low. Hamaday gets it down. It's up.
Now let's see the referees.
It's good.
That's good to see Morano kick that extra point, give him a little bit of confidence. He struggled a little bit in the beginning of the year, and he had a great year last year. I'd like to see him get back on track. So I'm really happy to see Morano with the extra point. That really looks good for Norristown. That's exactly what Coach Grove wanted. 9:44 left in the first quarter, 7-0, turnover, opportunity to score. They converted. And that's what they needed to do.
Excellent job of capitalizing on that huge turnover, and Norristown will look to contain again here. Be interesting. We didn't get to see much of the Owl offense. Certainly they're not shy about going to the air, though.
No, I'm a little surprised with their offensive game plan. Obviously, in the first play, they were open with Lewis and just overthrew the football, but I expected them to be a more of a running team tonight. They start from the eye, so it looks like eventually they're going to get to the running game.
Back deep now for the Owls, along with number 22, Davis, is number 16, Quai Taylor.
I would imagine there, Albie Morano is going to aim again toward that sideline, try to pin him in and let the coverage do their job.
Morano's ready. Kick is a booming kick down inside the 5-yard line, bobbled by Taylor, picks it up at the 1, looks to the far side of the field, and great containment. Nice downfield tackle for the Eagles. Number 11, Jim Zitzer, super job on the coverage, drops Taylor at the 10-yard line.
It is such a key with the long kick and the drop that the coverage team was able to get down, and Jim Zitzer made a heck of a play, pinning them at the 10-yard line. So Norristown's really had great field position tonight. For Bensalem, it's going to be a long 90 yards.
So Rob Dunner, the quarterback for the Owls, has his work cut out for him here. 1st and 10 from his own 10-yard line. Art Brown wide to the left, Lewis to the right. The handoff to the lone setback Davis. He turns the corner. Good gain that time by Keith Davis. He shed that first tackler, Dean, and broke it to the outside.
Yeah, they like that one-back set. They've done that twice tonight so far, and they really got to the outside quick. Doug White was close to making a stop, but if he gets his shoulder square, he's going to be tough to bring down. He hits that hole pretty quick.
Looks like they line Howard up almost in the slot there, and they followed him that time.
Yeah, it's almost like a wing right with the 2 wide receivers in a pro set, and then put the man in the back, and let's see what he can do on the outside. So it looks like they're going to try to go to the outside, use their speed.
Call it 7 yards on that last carry. 2nd and 3 for Bensalem. Backs in the eye this time. Receivers are to the right. This time they come left with Davis, and he's good for the first down. Dropped that time by Burrell and Davis, but not before picking up 6 or 7 yards.
Yeah, they're not doing anything fancy. That time they're in the eye set, and they're just run blocking, straight ahead run blocking, and hitting the fullback isolate on the linebacker and let Davis do what he can do best, and that's run the football. And let's see if he can use his speed.
So quickly the Owls give themselves some breathing room here. Ball now out to their 24-yard line, 1st and 10. We have 8:32 to play in the first quarter, and if you turned it on late, shame on you. The Eagles are already on the board, 7-0. This time they have Howard in the single set. The play action, they set up the screen. Oh, wow, what a catch by Davis. The first hit was missed by Garvin Stewart. Look at Davis go. Unbelievable, folks. There's nobody going to catch him. Keith Davis goes all the way. 76 yards for the touchdown off of a play action screen.
Well, I don't think it's any secret who's going to be getting the football most of the time tonight. A little play action on first down. Looks like they want to try to mix it up. Looked like a broken play almost when he threw it, but Davis just made a great play, broke a tackle, and he goes a full 70 yards for the touchdown. Once he got in that open field, no one was going to catch him.
Well, I tell you, he broke a nice tackle that time. It was Garvin Stewart that had the initial hit, was really trying to go for the ball.
Yeah.
And that initial miss allowed Davis to spring down the far sideline.
Yeah, with him, you got to go for his legs. Got to stay low on him, make the tackle, then go for the football. That's the main concern with him. You got to contain him.
Rob Brown on for the extra point here for the Owls. Good snap. Brown's kick is low. It looks to be wide. It's no good. So the Eagles get a break, Dean.
That's a big break. Making it 7-6. Norristown up by 1. It'll be interesting what Norristown comes up to do offensively. Previously, they started at the 20, 25-yard line. We're able to just run in with Swittenberg taking all 4 carries. I think the majority of the game tonight will be Swittenberg versus Davis, with the offensive line seeing what they can do.
Great kind of game for the fans, though.
It sure is. I think it's going to be an exciting game. You get both those runners in the open field, and you never know what's going to happen. It's very exciting football tonight.
And, Dean, not a bad crowd here at Roosevelt Field, especially for a team certainly not well known in the Norristown area. I mean, a lot of folks don't even know where Bensalem is.
That is correct. It is in the lower Bucks area, just above the border of Philadelphia. So it's got a pretty good height to get here.
Absolutely. And it's a perfect night, as we said. Temperature is probably in the 60s. It was clear skies all day. Certainly no adverse field conditions to contend with.
No, perfect night for the 2 runners to really get on track. I think that field's in good shape.
8:04 now remaining in the first quarter of play, and it's 7-6 Norristown as Brown missed wide left on that extra point attempt after the 76-yard touchdown run after the reception by Keith Davis. The Eagles have Swittenberg back deep with Stewart. The Owls are set. Brown's kick is short, almost an onside kick, taken by one of the up men, and the ball is down, of course. In high school, once your knee touches the ground, that's the end of the play. And it was taken at the 28-yard line by number 7, Don Vaughn.
That's not going to give him too bad a field position. I don't know what the philosophy there on. It looked like an onside kick. It got back into the second line of receivers, and Donovan just kind of slipped there. And once your knee does touch the ground, it's a automatic down possession for high school.
Interesting call by Al's coach Biz Keeney, obviously not wanting to give Swittenberg or Stewart the chance to break one big, as they are prone to do. Chris Blake looks to set the offense from his own 28-yard line. Stewart and Swittenberg in the eye. There it is, Swittenberg again off the left side. Eludes one tackler, a second. Good job to get into the defensive secondary. Swittenberg probably got 7, maybe 8 on the carry.
Yeah, that was almost a broken play. Doug White, the left guard, pulled right on that time, missed a block, but Swittenberg was able to juke around the defensive end and get a pickup of about 8 there.
We'll call it second and a long 2. 7:17 to go in the quarter. In at wide receiver, number 81, Paul Pronsati, along with number 11, Jim Zitzer. The wideouts are split. Blake with a quick handoff up the middle to Stewart. Good job. First down. Garvin Stewart still won't go down. Going to take 6 or 7 guys to finally rip him down to the turf.
Yeah, he's a tough runner. He's their fullback, and he's in for basically the short yardage plays, the tough yards. Looks like they're moving the chains. It will be first down, and that's exactly what Coach Grove wants to do. Control the football, control that defensive line, wear them out. Bensalem's not an overly big team, and I think Coach Grove's team has the size advantage, and I hope what he's thinking is let's try to wear these guys down for the third and fourth quarter.
So the Eagles have first and 10 from their own 40-yard line. Official blows the whistle. Got an equipment issue here for Garvin Stewart. Garvin's got, looks like tape maybe, that had to be pulled aside so as not to be a violation. And we're ready to go again. Chris Blake now talking quickly with Stewart. Offsides. Either we had some movement down by the ball there for the Eagles, or we had some motion on the defensive side of the ball.
What I think is interesting, if you're going to watch the game, they got Troy Swittenberg basically in the I formation. He's about 7 yards back. It allows him to read the holes, and even if anything breaks down, he's the opportunity on his own to cut it outside or to cut it inside to read the holes. With his kind of speed, I think it's advantageous for them to do that.
And that long count that time did result in an offsides call against Bensalem. That was Nick Lombardo, I believe, drawn offside. So it's 1st and 5 for the Eagles from their 45-yard line. Swittenberg again, good penetration, a fumble. Blake looks to recover, the ball's loose. Still loose. Owls have the ball. Bensalem with the fumble recovery, and talk about golden opportunities. They have the ball at the Norristown 35, and that time, Dean, Swittenberg really had no chance to get started.
Never had a chance to get a shoulder square to the field. Number 77, James Burrell was pulling that play and kind of got caught up with Swittenberg that time, and the defensive line had a good push and penetration and basically hit Swittenberg just as he received the ball, and he fumbled. Good field position for Bensalem, and this is what their opportunity is, to get the field position back.
They send Lewis and Brown to the left. Now Lewis in motion to the far side. Dunner, the handoff to Davis. He slips but regains his balance and still picks up 4 or 5 yards on that play. Good agility and balance that time demonstrated by Keith Davis.
Yeah, Mike Ginyard and Doug White did a good job penetrating into the backfield of Bensalem and didn't allow Davis to really get ahead of steam, and that's going to be the key tonight. Not allow Davis to really get his shoulders square and get that sprinter speed going. Because once he gets going, it's going to be tough to bring him down. So the defensive line has an important job tonight to slow him up.
4 yards on the carry brings up 2nd and 6 from the Eagle 33. This time Lewis comes to the near side. Dunner with the quick look. Outside to Lewis. He's got room around the corner. Milligan on the tackle. That time Milligan and Darrell Johnson managed to run the ball carrier out of bounds, but a nice gain on the play and a first down for the Owls.
And that's one of the plays that Coach Grove was worried about, getting Lewis in that open field in the flat there and letting him go one-on-one with his defensive back because of his size advantage at 6'4", and with his speed, he lunges for 2 yards automatically.
So 1st and 10 now from the Eagle 22. Dunner has the backs in the eye. Little play action again, goes back to the right side. One man to beat there is Garvin Stewart. Garvin does a great job bringing down number 5, Akil Flight. Excellent open field tackle.
Yeah, Garvin did a much better job that time, keeping his head up and wrapping on the tackler, getting him out of the open field. They're the toughest tackles to make, those open fields. Last time when that missed tackle turned into 6 points.
2-yard loss on that play is going to bring up 2nd and 12 for Bensalem. And I'll tell you, I'm pretty impressed so far, Dean, in the diversity of play calling by Bensalem. They're not afraid to mix it up.
They're looking, I would say it's 50-50 pass versus run.
4:37 to play in the first quarter. Norristown leads here 7-6. The rollout right. They go up top. Overthrown. No flags on the play. That ball was well overthrown into the end zone that time. 2 intended receivers.
It looked like Dave Artis, a linebacker, number 57, I believe, was in putting some pressure on the quarterback and forced him to throw the ball a little earlier than he wanted to, and he overthrew his receiver. I'm surprised that they're not running the football down here. I really am. That was a ball that could have been up for grabs. I
agree with you. Not a well-thrown ball by Dunner, and it brings up 3rd and 12 now from the Eagle 24-yard line. Now we've got Brown and Lewis to the left. The play action again. Quarterback looks outside, and he gets wrapped up nice. And I tell you, Dunner didn't do the job that time. Brought down by 3 Norristown defenders.
Excellent job at Bobby Davis containing the quarterback to the inside. Couldn't get to the outside. It looked like he was trying to go to Lewis, but Lewis was very well covered back there. So he just kind of ate the ball, and we're looking at 4th and long. Unfortunately, we got a face mask against Norristown. Boy, they had him pinned back there for a long field goal now.
It was probably a 5 or 6 yard loss on that play.
Sure
Darrell Johnson and Dave Artis helping out there. And that was at the very end of that play. That's a shame. They're going to mark this off, and we'll take a peek and see what it does for the possession situation. Boy, that's a costly penalty. 15 yards against the Eagles.
That's a flagrant face mask. On a 3rd and long, you stop the quarterback, and we get a face mask.
Boy, mistakes or something like that are certainly something you want to avoid here. Brings up now a 3rd down and a yard instead of 4th down and 17, and really had them out of field goal range. What a dramatic turnaround that face mask is.
It sure was. I would look here for Davis to receive the ball and look for them to run it here. Get the 1st down and go from here.
So 3rd and 1 now. The Owls with new life after that penalty. Dunner, the handoff to Davis. Up the middle, 1st down. Inside the 10-yard line.
That's exactly what Bensalem wanted to do, get a 1st and goal. They'll have 3 cracks to getting a touchdown. But they sure have kept Norristown off balance with the pass versus the run tonight. And you have to, the linebackers are going to have to bite on that play action. They're going to have to stay home and then drop back into coverage when it's a pass, because he got a key on Keith Davis. He's just too fast.
3:32 to go here in this first period of play. So the Owls, as we said, 1st and goal from the Eagle 8. Dunner goes to Davis up the middle. Good job that time by the interior of the Norristown line. It looked like Webster in on the tackle.
Yeah, Brian Webster did a heck of a job filling the hole and stopping that before he got himself started. Basically, right now, the Owls of Bensalem are just playing smash mouth football. They're just one-on-one block, and there's no pulling, nothing fancy. Let's just give it to Davis and see how far we can get. Bensalem's lines is not overly tall. The tallest player they have is 6'1", Chris Fries. He's 260, but we have a couple guys 5'9", 253. That's Paul Yeager. So they're not looking for many things how big they are here.
2nd and goal from the 7. Davis cuts back inside. Boy, I tell you, that was a last-ditch effort by Don Milligan and saved the touchdown as Davis somehow bounced off 2 or 3 tackle attempts and got inside the 5, probably down to about the 3.
The amazing thing is that Keith Davis can stop on a dime and cut back and forth. It looks like Norristown's doing a good job penetrating, but they just can't quite bring him down.
Davis certainly elusive. It reminds me a little bit of a young man named Damon Carroll who used to play here at Norristown.
Sure does. Very elusive.
3rd and goal now from the Norristown 3. Dunner with the long count. They go to Davis off the right side. He looks to turn the corner. He does. Goes up in the air, touchdown. Boy, I tell you, what an effort by Keith Davis. And you saw some explosive speed. Wow. He turned past Garvin Stewart like Garvin was standing still.
That was a dangerous play. They tried to go to the outside of 2 previous plays. They went inside. If they had made that tackle, Norristown would have thrown him for a loss, but his explosive speed got him to turn the corner, and he dove in the end zone for a touchdown. Keith Davis is a very exciting ball player to watch.
He sure is. That was a heck of a run. Great individual effort, and certainly throwing caution to the wind, going up in the air, goes airborne at about the 2-yard line, dives into the end zone.
He didn't worry about his body. He sacrificed that one for the team for the 6 points, and that's what you're looking for, especially a team that's 0-3 in the league. Looking for guys to really go out and give their all, to get themselves back on track.
So the Owls now will set up for the 2-point conversion, try and make up for that missed extra point attempt on their first touchdown. They lead now 12-7. They set with the backs in the eye. Dunner, the play action, rolls right. Looks, he's got plenty of time, still waiting. Takes it himself. But I tell you, he's got it. He's got the 2 points. Rob Dunner with a superb job. Eagles had him contained, Dean, and I don't know how they let him slip inside there.
Yeah, Dunner was rolling out to his right. He was looking for number 17, Art Brown, in the end zone, but he was well covered. Cunningham just took the ball to the right and just went right for that corner of the end zone, the pylon, and just dove in for the 2-point conversion. And with 1:50 left, it's 14-7. Bensalem, it seems like Norristown's been controlling the game, especially in the beginning. Coach Grove's got to be disappointed. In the last 5 to 6 minutes, Bensalem's really taken over here.
Well, let's talk about the big plays already in this game. First of all, the interception the Eagles get to start off the game, convert that quickly into a touchdown. Then they fumbled deep in their own territory. Or pardon me, the big play by Davis on the long run. The Eagles fumbled deep in their own territory. Have the drive stopped, really, probably not even a field goal, and then they're crushed by a face mask penalty that gives the Owls new life, and here they take it in very, very efficiently and then manage the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, Bensalem really controlled the offensive line there. They did a good job up front. That drive was about 5 minutes long, so it took a lot of time off the clock. Norristown's going to have to regroup, get themselves back on track, go back to their offensive keys and philosophies. They're only down by 7.
Rob Brown. The kickoff goes low again. Again, taken by one of the up players for Norristown at the 25-yard line. There's room up the middle. Wow, what a great job that time by the Eagle ball carrier, number 32, Tony Mazzarella. Mazzarella just kept pulling his way forward.
Yeah, well, I think what Bensalem's philosophy is very obvious. Don't kick the ball to Troy Spittenberg. And that's not a bad idea. This time it kind of backfired. A heck of a job there, getting the ball up to the 45, but there's no doubt they're not going to kick the ball anywhere near their deep backs, especially Swittenberg, because they can break it open at any time.
So the Eagles with another offensive opportunity here late in the first quarter, 1:42 in the first quarter. Score now 14-7, Bensalem up on top. Chris Blake sets the offense for Norristown. The pitch goes to Swittenberg off the right side. He's got Stewart out front, cuts it up inside. Boy, I tell you, there wasn't much of a hole there, but Troy Swittenberg found it.
Now, that was a good old-fashioned I formation, 28 pitch. Takes the tailback out, fullback blocks, and He tries to bounce it to the outside, get as much as he can, but he did a nice job. He picked up 5 yards on that to make it 2nd and 5.
Garvin Stewart's a battler out there, Dean. He's not afraid to be the man on the lead block.
Yeah, Coach Grove's philosophy has been pretty much the same all through his career. Take the fullback, isolate him on the linebacker, and let the running back read that block, either bounce it inside or bounce it outside to decide which way to go.
Pronsati and Zitzer, the receivers. Stewart and Swittenberg in the eye. This time they follow Stewart off the left side. Swittenberg cuts it up inside. One man to beat. He does down the outside. Keshawn Lewis finally brings him down inside the 15-yard line. Helped out that time by number 23 on the defense, Jim Beal, the safety. But boy, what a great job by Swittenberg.
Yeah, the block that freed Swittenberg was Yaboa Cobalt pulled on that and was able to kick out the tackle. It was almost like a tackle trap. Really did a nice job kicking out that tackle and got freed up, Troy Swittenberg, for a big gain.
Swittenberg has the Eagles down to the Bensalem 13-yard line, 1st and 10. Looked like some motion down there, no flags. Swittenberg off the right side, and that time he's wrapped up nicely by number 7, John Howard.
Yeah, Bensalem had that defense really well. They had more men in the box on the left side, and there was just not enough blockers for Norristown. Just a good old-fashioned straight blocking by Norristown, which was stopped by good defensive penetration by Bensalem.
No gain at all on the play. Call it 2nd and 10 for the Eagles.
Interesting call here by Coach Grove. 2nd and long. Let's see what he's going to do here. Looks like a little confusion and going to be a timeout.
He's going to call time and think about it.
That's a smart play. You get yourself in the red zone, 35 seconds left in the first quarter. Don't make any mistakes. This is where they need to convert. And this is what's kind of hurting Norristown in the early part of the go here. Not converting within the 20. It hurt them last week at Central Bucks West. It's hurt them at Westchester Henderson. So that's something they have to really work on. It's a good job by Chris Blake, who's a junior. And I know he's getting more adapted with the offense to, hey, we're confused. Let's get a timeout in.
While we have a quick break in the action, we want to, of course, thank the Norristown Area School District for bringing you this ball game. Of course, Mr. Tony Koya, the Director of Communications, who's producing our program this evening, ably assisted by his camera crew, Azad Shirozian, Alicia Milner, Garrett Hickman, and we also want to thank our statistician, Greg Fry. I'm Jeff Brand along with Dean Behrens, and folks, it has been a very interesting ball game so far. Certainly no lack of action.
Plenty of action. There's already been 21 points scored here in the first quarter, so we got 3 more quarters of exciting football to go.
Coach Grove off the field here after conferring with his troops.
I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Grove stays with the run. It looks like he's been doing a pretty good job with his tackles and his guards pulling to free up Swittenberg, so I wouldn't be surprised if they go to that again down here.
The Eagles have yet to go to the air this evening. Blake ready to go. The play action. Got a man deep in the end zone. It's underthrown, tipped, but caught.
Wow.
Oh, boy. Keshawn Lewis has to be ready to cry out there. What a great job that time by Josiah Perry, the tight end, to concentrate and bring that ball in.
That was a great call by Coach Grove. Play action fake. Bensalem really took the bite. Blake rolls out to his left. He underthrew it, but he just got lucky that the ball was tipped, and Josiah Perry did a great job concentrating, making that catch for a touchdown. That's a real big break for Norristown, something they really needed to get back themselves in the ball game here.
Blake pulled the string a little bit on that one. Didn't quite have the appropriate touch, but you can't argue with results, right?
Hey,
6 points is 6 points.
Exactly. He was so wide open, I think he really did pull the string. All he needed to do was lob that thing up, and there's no way. But Lewis is 6'4", so he's tough to throw over.
Morano on for the extra point. Hamaday takes the low snap, sets it for Albie. Ball is up, and it's good. So the Eagles knocked this one at 14, and we've had 28 points scored in the first quarter with 28 seconds remaining.
Norristown showed some real mental toughness. After just giving up 14 straight points, they came back with a nice drive. Drive only lasted about 1:30, but it was a nice drive, get them on back, capped by a little tip touchdown pass caught by Josiah Perry. So Coach Grove's got to feel pretty happy going into the second quarter. Tied 14-14.
The Eagles will take it, a 55-yard drive. And the big play that time, the rush by Swittenberg.
Boy, it's been really a Swittenberg-Davis show tonight. Both running backs are really showing their talents. Troy Swittenberg, if people don't understand, is a sophomore. So he's got 2 more years, plus this year, to show his talents.
Only 4 plays on that drive, Dean. That 37-yard run by Swittenberg, really the one that keyed the Eagles' success there.
Let's see how Morano's going to kick this ball. The first time he kicked off, nor the sideline. The second time they went right at him and let the receivers take it. But they did a great job of downfield coverage. Didn't hurt that Bensalem dropped the ball to begin. So we'll be interested to see what we do here.
I think Morano had his best kick of the year on that last kickoff. That ball was driven deep inside the 5-yard line. Another deep kick goes to the far sideline into the end zone. Boy, you don't see that much in high school.
No, the Philadelphia Eagles are looking for a guy to do that. So, boy, it really helps your defense. The kicker can get that ball high and deep and let the coverage make its play. That time it goes to the end zone. Bensalem starts at the 20. They got 80 yards to go. It really helps Norristown's defense.
Morano, a great job. Not only was it deep, but it was near the sideline. Couldn't have been fielded anyway. The only possible negative out of that was that it bounced out of bounds, but Albie got the right spin on it.
I know Morano's been working very hard on his kickoffs in practice and really aiming toward that sideline and kicking it deep. So obviously that practice has really paid off tonight.
So with the score tied at 14, Bensalem takes over again, as Dean told you, at their own 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Davis, the lone setback. The handoff goes right. Davis hits that far side, and he's wrapped up nicely. Picks up 3 probably, maybe 4 on the play.
That was an interesting formation. Again, they go to the 1 back. It was almost a trips formation to the right. 3 receivers to the right, which is a trips formation, and they give the ball to Davis to go to the outside. They're trying to get some of that. Bensalem's trying to get some of those receivers to really block. And with Lewis at 6'4", he's not a bad blocker one-on-one on those defensive backs.
And that's the end of the first quarter. We'll take a break here and switch to the other side of the field. It'll bring up 2nd and 6 now for Bensalem. Dean, I'm impressed by both squads so far in this game. Both able to capitalize on the mistakes of the other. Of course, those mistakes aren't anything to be proud of on either side of the ball, but I think the offensive squads are just stellar this evening.
Yeah, I think that both coaches have to be happy that they have converted on the mistakes by the other team, and that's the key. I mean, football comes down to who turns the ball over less and whoever converts those turnovers, and both teams have converted. So I think we're going to have a very interesting second quarter. Both teams have not felt themselves out. They just went out and played. 28 points scored in the first quarter.
Coming into this ball game, the Eagles were -4 in that turnover category, not obviously where you want to be, and that's certainly accounting for some of their hard luck in the win-loss column.
Yeah, absolutely. Teams have got to convert on turnovers as well as not turn the football over. You turn the football over, it's going to be a long night for most teams.
Last year when these two teams met, Norristown really took it to the Owls, winning 40-14. Well, they've still got a chance to do that, but they'll have to run off the next 26 points.
They sure do. I think Bensalem is the record doesn't show, but they're much improved from last year's 0-10 season.
Rob Dunner has his backs in the eye this time. Long count. The quick drop. Penetration's good, but Dunner does a great job releasing. Goes to Howard, it looks like, on the outside. No, I'm sorry, that was Lewis. That was the wideout. I thought they had Howard set up outside, but that was Lewis with a fine job. Picks up probably 7 or 8.
Yeah, they're really looking to isolate Lewis against the cornerbacks, and he instead made a heck of a play, again, bringing down Lewis in the open field. He breaks that tackle, and you never know what can happen.
3rd and short now for Bensalem. We'll make it 3rd and a long one. Dunner goes to Davis. Oh, what penetration. It's going to be real close, Dean. I'm not sure that he got the first down.
It looks like he's going to have the first down. Looks like it's a pretty good spot here. Again, they went to that formation that almost trips right with the 1-back set. And they're taking that wing back in the inside and down blocking on the linebacker so that Davis can kind of get outside. But that time, Norristown did a heck of a job penetrating on the defensive line.
So 1st and 10 now from the 35-yard line. Pardon me, the 30-yard line. Have to get my eyes examined again. Getting old, Dean. They go to Davis left this time. Follows the block. And oh, what a hit that time by Bobby Davis. He drove Keith Davis back.
Yeah, Bobby Davis really came up with a nice play. I mean, if you look at Bobby Davis without a pair of shoulder pads on, he's maybe 170 pounds soaking wet, but he really came up and met him. He's a tough kid. He'll come to play, and he comes to give 100%. He sacrifices his body.
And certainly Keith Davis, no hulking running back, only 5'9", 160, but it's that blazing speed that makes him so effective.
Yeah, they try to get him in the open field more than up the middle.
5 yards on the carry, though, brings up 2nd and 5. This time they go to Davis off the right side, and look at the Eagles come up. Darrell Johnson, great job coming up from linebacker along with Davis, helped out by Garvin Stewart.
Yeah, boy, Darrell Johnson did a good job scraping across the line. There was a pancake there, I think for Norristown, number 50, Brian Webster really got pancaked that time on a guard that pulled out and kicked him out. But boy, Darrell Johnson did a nice job scraping across the line and making that tackle. It's a big play here, 3rd and about 5.
Only a yard on that last play, if that. The ball at the 37-yard line of the Owls. Receivers go left this time. Davis follows Howard. Penetration, slips that tackle, but I believe the Eagles are going to stop Davis short. That time Darrell Johnson was deep in the backfield, just couldn't quite ramp up Keith Davis.
Had his feet. Davis was a tough runner, kept his feet high. Darrell Johnson couldn't bring him down. This is going to be an interesting call. 4th and about 1.
And here comes the punting unit. I think that's the right call by Bizkini. He's in a tight game. You're still in your own territory. It's early.
Yeah, 14-14, early in the ball game. You're playing away. I think it's the right thing to do. He can really pin Norristown back with a good punt and keep Norristown in bad field position. Looks like we have some confusion here on the field.
And the Eagles really looked to be disorganized that time, Dean. Don Milligan was back deep, and Paul Pronsati was rushing onto the field. There was some confusion on the line also, so a timeout called.
I guess they maybe Norristown just kind of assumed that they were going to go for it on 4th and 1 rather than they went to the punting formation. That Norristown got very confused. Milligan was back, but Pronsati was trying to get himself onto the field there.
And certainly in that situation, you don't want to be called for a 5-yard penalty. Really give the Owls a big break.
No. It's a key punt for Bensalem. They're really looking to try to pin Norristown back at about the 15 or 10-yard line to make sure they don't have to go the distance. They have to go the distance of the field, I should say.
So the Eagles do a good job of containment on this drive. Total yardage was 19 yards on 6 plays, but it forces the 4th and 1 and the punt here. And again, it's Milligan and Pronsati back deep for Norristown. Good snap. Great punt that time. It's going to be taken at about the 27-yard line by Pronsati. He shakes one tackler, takes it back to the right side. He's got a blocker out front. Paul Pronsati dropped at the 43-yard line of Bensalem by the only guy who was left to stop him.
Yeah, Paul Pronsati did a great job shaking that one tackler and breaking up to the right side of the side on Bensalem's side and putting Norristown in great field position.
Well, I tell you, that was a stellar punt. Great hang time. They had the coverage there. Pronsati just managed to juke past that first tackler.
He juked left and then went right, and Bensalem bit, and there was no they didn't seem to have the coverage on the left side of the field there, and Pronsati took advantage by going up the right side of the on Bensalem's side. So it looks like Norristown's in good position here.
So the Eagles now, as Dean just told you, another excellent opportunity. 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line of the opponent. Zitzer comes in motion. They follow Zitzer and Swittenberg. It's Garvin Stewart that time on the pitch. And Garvin Stewart doing a fine job. Big gainer and a 1st down for Norristown down to the 25-yard line.
I think that really surprised Bensalem. I think they're really keen on Troy Swittenberg, and all of a sudden we pitch it to the fullback, and Garvin Stewart did a good job getting the ball field and getting the 1st down. Field position is such a key in football. It just cuts the field down. If you got to go 80, 90 yards every single drive, it's very tough to convert. Norristown's really cut the field down by getting great field position tonight.
The backs are split. Zitzer comes in motion again to the near side. This time they go to Swittenberg off the right side. Good deception that time by Chris Blake. They really sold that play, and Swittenberg, another big gain. Yeah, looks like another 1st down.
They went off tackle off of Doug White. Now, Doug White's about 6'2", about 300 pounds. Give or take a few here or there, depends what he has for lunch. So I think they're really trying to take advantage of his size compared to Bensalem's smaller linemen. So far, it's been effective. Doug White's doing a good job tonight blocking.
I guess Troy was just short of 10 yards there. It's second in inches now from just outside the 15-yard line. Eagles knocking on the door again, this time out of the eye. Swittenberg's got the first down. Down to about the 12, it looks like, Dean, and the Eagles will set up again here with 1st and 10.
Yeah, again, they were in the I formation. They were real tight. They set the wing back to the left in motion, and they went his way to try to get his block. Bensalem did a good job penetrating and stopping Swittenberg, but again, Swittenberg picks up the first down, and Norristown's starting to grind the game out a little bit.
7:26 remaining in the first half of play. Score tied at 14 all those points coming in the first quarter. Norristown, though, knocking on the door again. Blake takes his time. Swittenberg off the right side, cuts it up the middle. Inside the 5-yard line, it's going to be close to an Eagle first down, probably 9 on the carry.
Yeah, Yaboa Cobalt did a great job kicking in the defensive tackle to give Swittenberg the hole up there. Swittenberg's read is to read his butt, sort of say, you know, if he kicks him out, you cut it up. If he kicks it in, bounce it out. And that time, Yaboa Cobalt did a great job blocking there.
Officials spotted at about the 5-yard line, so call it 2nd and 2 for Norristown. Swittenberg again. Oh, boy, I tell you, they read that play. 3 guys in the backfield almost before Chris Blake handed it off.
Looked like number 20, Royce Howard, came blitzing either from like the cornerback position to make that play.
That was along with number 42, Rich Lee, the linebacker. Great job that time. Biskini finally making some adjustments here to try and contain Troy Swittenberg. There's a loss on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd and 4 from the 7.
It's a big play for Norristown. I'm interested to see. I think we got to have an equipment timeout here. This gives a chance Norristown to regroup again.
See if the Eagles elect to go to the play action again here that was so successful on their last drive. 5:52 remaining in the half. 3rd and a long 4. Zitzer comes in motion. Blake with the pitch to Swittenberg. Turns it outside, cuts up inside. Close to the goal line. It's certainly a first down. Troy Swittenberg, just a stellar runner. Boy, I tell you, it's amazing. Young man, 10th grade, has that kind of intuitiveness.
He's very mature for his age, especially as a football player. It takes a lot for a 10th grader to come out and play at this level. I'm very impressed, but I'll tell you, on that play there, Garvin Stewart did a heck of a job of making that block.
And it is a first down. It's now 1st and goal for the Eagles. Swittenberg got about 5 on that carry. Looks like we're at about the 2-yard line.
It was a big first down for Norristown. Now they just need to punch it in.
Be interested to see if the Owls come with everything up the middle here. The keeper, quarterback keeper. I don't think Blake picked up but maybe a yard there.
Yeah, Blake, there wasn't much push up front from the offensive line, and Blake just could not get over. He's a pretty big kid. He's about 6'3", so I can see why Coach Grove went to the quarterback sneak, maybe try to surprise Bensalem. Pretty low, all he's got to do is lean over, but there just was no push or any push by the Norristown offensive line.
We'll give Chris Blake a yard on that carry, make it 2nd and goal from the 1 now. Pronsati goes wide right. Zitzer in the slot left. This time they go Swittenberg left, touchdown.
Well, Swittenberg scored a lot of touchdowns, but I got to give Garvin Stewart a lot of credit. He's doing a lot of the blocking and allowing Troy Swittenberg to be free. Kind of like what Moose Johnson does for Dallas, for Emmett Smith. He sacrifices his body to take on the linebacker and allow Swittenberg to get the opening. The linebacker just can't shut off that block by the fullback.
They give that Eagle line a lot of credit, too. They are really making their assignments tonight, hitting those blocks, and Swittenberg does a great job getting to the hole.
Yeah, the offensive line is doing a great job. And they have to be doing a great job. They've just scored 3 touchdowns in a quarter and a half. So that's exactly what Coach Grove is looking for.
Morano on once again. Attempt his 3rd extra point of the evening. Eagles up by 6, trying to make it 7. Some motion down low, either offsides or
Looked as
some motion.
Bensalem's left defensive line, the left side, had jumped. And it was encroachment on the defense. It's not going to make much difference here. Half the distance to the goal line.
I think Morano was probably good for that distance.
Yeah, I believe
before
so.
The penalty. So the Eagles will reset. Hamaday ready for the snap. It's a good snap. Hold is good. Kicks up. It's good. So Albie Morano perfect tonight on the extra points. And the Eagles back on top in this ball game, 21-14, and an impressive drive set up by good field position after the nice punt return by Paul Pronsati.
Yep.
The Eagles go 45 yards.
Paul Pronsati really did a great job setting Norristown up for that score by taking that punt and bringing it back for about 30 or 40 yards. Norristown is really getting its running game going. The offensive line is doing a great job. Right now, they don't need to pass.
I'll tell you, it was impressive. They went on 8 plays, 45 yards in a little under 4 minutes and have only gone to the air once tonight, and that was for a touchdown.
That was for a touchdown. Well, with 4:23 left, Bensalem's got another crack at putting this in the end zone before the half. I think Norristown's key is to try to stop them and maybe get the ball back in good field position and get in for another score before halftime.
Albie Morano certainly acquitting himself well tonight, both on the extra points and the kickoffs. And as you said, that's good to see for him. He needs that confidence boost. This time they go down the middle. Hits. It's going to go into the end zone. I don't know if that was touched or not. They say, no, that's a touchback. I'll tell you, Dean, that was real close to being touched.
From up here, we're pretty far up. It looks like he touched it, but however, the official's a lot closer than we are, and it's a touchback. Now, Albie Morano's doing a great job of kicking off, but I got to question Bensalem's kick return. They're not doing a good job stepping up and catching the football. You got to catch it on the fly. You can't let that bounce, or you're just asking for disaster. That was almost a disastrous play for Bensalem.
That was number 16, Clyde Taylor, and it's obvious that they're kicking away from Davis and to Taylor tonight. But Taylor, as you say, not doing the job.
No, he's not. I'm surprised if Bensalem's not trying to switch their men to confuse Norristown to get Davis the football.
Quarterback Rob Dunner has his team 1st and 10 from the 20. Davis off the left side. Good job that time by number 71, Mike Ginyard, who wrapped up Davis.
Yeah, Ginyard's a big football player. He's comes at 6 foot 260.
Junior,
So
he's still got some growing time.
He's got some time. His father's is very tall, so I think he might be able to grow up a little bit. He's grown out a little earlier than he's grown up, but he's doing a heck of a job, and he's a junior. So I think Coach Grover is very happy with his progress along the way.
6 yards on that play brings up 2nd and 4 with 3:50 here in the first half. The Bensalem Owls with the ball. Rob Dunner, the quarterback. The long count again. The quick drop. Turns to the outside. Nice catch that time by Lewis. And look at him run past the tacklers. Hamaday's got to make that stop. Look at Burrell. Look at James Burrell come all the way back from the line of scrimmage to make that play.
That was great pursuit by Burrell. He's a defensive lineman, and he's coming back and making that tackle 30 yards down the field. That's exactly what Bensalem's been trying to do. Take the ball, get to the outside with Keith Davis, and then when Norristown's expecting to run inside or outside, they throw the ball in the flat to Lewis, and he can just take the ball. And at 6'4", he runs like a gazelle.
Well, I tell you, that was a nice play by Krishawn Lewis all the way around. That ball was underthrown. He had to pick that almost off the turf, and then managed to turn it into the big gainer.
Yeah, he's lined up in a slot on the right side here.
Ball down in Eagle territory, the Eagle 45-yard line, 1st and 10. Davis up the middle. Not much there. Good job that time by the Eagle defense, and that was Darrell Johnson with the original containment along with Ginyard.
Yeah, Darrell Johnson made a nice play. Now, Darrell Johnson hasn't been playing. He's been injured. He separated his shoulder at the beginning of the season, so I know he's primed and ready to go tonight. And he's playing very inspired football tonight. Again, he's a junior. So Norristown team is a very young team, and they have a lot to build on.
Darrell's a nice young man. He used to play Little League Baseball for me. He's a heck of a pitcher.
Yeah, he's a heck of an athlete. He's one of the few three-sport athletes that we have at the Norristown High School.
2nd and 9. Dunner goes to Davis off the left side. Good run that time by Davis. extra effort almost gets him the first down. It's Garvin Stewart who finally makes the tackle.
Well, this is the first time I've seen Keith Davis play, and I'll tell you one thing I'm very impressed by. Obviously, he's got great speed. He's a track runner in Norristown, or at Bensalem, I'm sorry. But he's really running between the tackles very tough, and he's not a very big player. However, he's showing his toughness tonight.
Brings up third and short there, Dean. I'm sorry.
The advantage he has, he hits the hole very quick. And he gets through that line very fast, so that speed does help him that way.
From the Eagle 36-yard line. Eagles play up tight on the ball. Oh, the reverse is there to Lewis. Eagles have it defensed nicely. Lewis goes to the outside. Look at that. I'll tell you, Krishawn Lewis did an excellent job that time. Had 3 Eagle defenders in pursuit. Manages the first down, though, and a few more.
Josiah Perry did a good job being disciplined enough to contain, not letting Lewis really get to the outside. There was only a pickup of a couple. Gave him a first down, but Josiah Perry did a good job, great job of containing him to the outside. You get Lewis on the outside, he could be gone.
Ian Stead out there also helping out for the Eagles. 1:38 to play here before the half. And the Owls moving the ball well here on this possession. Down to the Eagle 31-yard line. 1st and 10 once again. Dunner rolls left, looks to throw across his body. Perry in pursuit. Krishawn Lewis out deep in single coverage with Ian Stead. And Stead was with him stride for stride, but I tell you what, if that ball's laid right there, Lewis has a touchdown. He's got about a 10-inch advantage, it looks like, on Ian Stead. That's
a tough play for the quarterback. He's a right-handed quarterback rolling out to his left. It was a corner pattern. It's one of those balls where you're just trying to throw and lob up there so the receiver can run underneath. It's an extremely difficult pass. Ian Stead did a great job on the coverage there.
Josiah Perry right behind Dunner. Maybe hearing some footsteps there. Yeah. Let that ball go a second too soon.
One more second and Josiah Perry has a sack on his hands.
2nd and 10 now from the Eagle 31. 1:29 to play until the half. Dunner, again the play action, the same roll left. Over the middle this time to Lewis, incomplete. Good job that time by Stead and Stewart. Really make contact right as that ball got to Lewis.
Boy, Norristown's really lucky. There was a wide open receiver in the end zone that Dunner never saw, and he was jumping up and down. And I think what happens is Dunner's really got his eyes on Lewis and not really seeing the field as well. And obviously, Coach Grove and his staff has done a good job trying to cover Lewis and contain him. He's a prime receiver. That's what they're trying to do. But I think that could have been a touchdown. Fortunately for Norristown, there's a penalty here.
It looks like it's a hold against the Owls, I believe, Dean. Eagles deciding what they want to do, whether they want to back Bensalem up or not. That's it, holding.
We don't have the advantage of instant replay, but I think it was a center was holding the nose guard, Brian Webster, as Webster was trying to get in, and it just kind of looked like he just pulled him down by his jersey. So a pretty easy call for the official.
So instead of an incomplete pass, it's 10 yards further back for the Owls. They'll set up 2nd and 10, now back to the Eagle 41-yard line. Pardon me, 2nd and 20 after the 10-yard loss from the penalty. Lewis goes in motion to the far side. Dunner again, rolls to his left. Penetration by Webster. Dunner gets it up. Oh, I tell you, it was right in the receiver's hands. That was Keith Davis, the tailback. What a fabulous throw. I can't believe he laid it in there with triple coverage.
Dunner, they really have him rolling against his arm strength, which he's rolling to his left as a right-handed quarterback. Very difficult. Did a great job. Brian Webster came up, they got there, put some pressure on him, but was able to avoid the pressure and lob a nice ball at Keith Davis, and he just happened to drop it.
So the Eagles get a break there. Brings up 3rd and 20 from their 41. Eagles up on top, 21-14. It's been an exciting game so far, folks. We've seen some good offensive play on both sides of the field tonight. Of course, the Eagles in their home blue uniforms on the right side of your screen. Dunner out of the deep snap. Oh, look at that. Lewis just took his eye off the ball. Out of the shotgun formation that time. Dunner with the quick hit to Lewis, and that's an interesting call.
Well, I think what's happening, Norristown's put some pressure this series on the quarterback, and I think he wanted to buy a little more time. They've gone to that shotgun, and obviously it worked. They took Lewis and had him in the slot and just run a quick slant. It was there. He just dropped the football.
It's got to take a little bit of wind out of your sails on that far side of the field for the Owls. Here they have 1st and 10 from the Eagle 31. Only manage in 3 plays to lose 10 yards. Now they've got a punt.
Yeah, that penalty really hurt them, put them back in 3rd and 20.
Dunner, the quarterback, does the punting chores. Milligan lets it go above his head. It's going to roll into the end zone.
Good
so
play.
really not even a good punt there. It's only a 20-yard net gain.
That was a good play by Milligan. Anytime the ball's past the 10-yard line, you don't catch the football. It's a cardinal rule not to catch a football if it's beyond the 10-yard line. Let it roll in the end zone.
Now, if you're Roger Grove, Dean, what do you do here? There's just less than a minute to play. You've got the ball 1st and 10 from your own 20. My guess is we're going to see Troy Swittenberg, Troy Swittenberg.
I agree with you. I wouldn't change anything that they've gone with tonight. You can just get yourself in trouble. Just hopefully they can hold the football.
Yeah, certainly protecting the ball in this situation is a key. If you get a good break somewhere and can manage to break one free, all the better, but you don't want to turn it over. Blake goes to Swittenberg. They follow Stewart off the left side. It's nicely contained, but obviously Roger Grove is content to take a 7-point lead into the locker room. No sense in doing anything crazy at this point.
No, I don't blame him. I'll tell you, the impressive running of Swittenberg, it's unbelievable as a sophomore, his running ability, but Garvin Stewart just put down number 84 on a pancake. I mean, Garvin Stewart's really impressed me tonight with his blocking ability.
We have an official time on the field for Josiah Perry coming off the field, shaking his left hand.
Looks like it could be his shoulder. Josiah's had some shoulder trouble this year. It looks like he's favoring that left shoulder. Hopefully he's okay. Well,
Doug White re-enters the ball game on the offensive line. Clock is running at 36 seconds. Trainer Dennis Flynn attending to Perry right now. Brings up 2nd and 8 for Norristown from their own 22. Swittenberg up the middle. And once again, he's dropped nicely. A little bit of a late hit there.
Whistle blew late, so.
True. True, the player was down, but the whistle hadn't blown.
Yeah, the whistle hadn't blown.
Another official time. This time, one of the Owls is down on the field.
Yeah, that was a dangerous play. I can't catch his number, but that looks like that player came in with his head down looking to spear. That's a dangerous situation in football.
I believe it's number 7, John Howard. Goes both ways as the fullback and also one of the linebackers.
Yeah, one of the many two-way starters for Bensalem. Both teams use many of their players both ways, which has been a successful formula, especially at Central Bucks West. If you ever follow Central Bucks West, they only usually play 16 or 17 players, use them both ways, and it's been effective. Obviously, Troy Swittenberg for Norristown as the key runner does not play defense, which is a smart move.
It's good to see Howard up, walking a bit gingerly, but under his own power here.
Probably on that pile he got rolled on and just kind of rolled on his leg.
He gets a nice round of applause from the fans here as he exits the field. Eagles will have one more snap here before we conclude the first half of play. 11 ticks left on the clock. And again, just before we break for halftime, I want to thank you folks for tuning in here on the Norristown High Cable Access Channel. We want to thank the school district for bringing you this ball game, and Mr. Tony Koya, the Director of Communications, for producing and directing tonight. Ably assisted by Azad Shirozian, Alicia Milner, and Garrett Hickman. And of course, we want to thank our statistician, Greg Fry, for giving us all the valuable insight. And that's the first half of play. We won't even snap the ball. So after 24 minutes, the Eagles up by 7 points, 21-14. Roger Grove has to be happy about the way his Norristown Eagles have played. They go into the locker room up by 7. We'll be back in just a moment to recap that first half of action. At the half, the Eagles with a 7-point lead, ahead 21-14. And Dean, I'll tell you, Troy Swittenberg was the real key to the offense in that first half for Norristown.
Yeah, sure is. He has 16 carries for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns. So Swittenberg has really done a great job putting Norristown into the lead, 21-14. Unfortunately, one of his fumbles cost Norristown a touchdown. However, he never really got a chance to get that football. That defensive player got in there so fast. So I wouldn't really blame that fumble on Troy Swittenberg.
And the only other guy to carry the ball for the Eagles is fullback Garvin Stewart, 2 carries for 22 yards, but his real chore is blocking.
He really has done a great job getting Troy Swittenberg those 88 yards. And, 2 carries for 22 yards, that's not a bad average, 11 yards a carry, and one really nice run. He's a real player. He's a real excellent fullback. I'm very impressed with him tonight.
And certainly the Eagles not too interested in going to the air tonight with the success they've had on the ground, but the one time they did, it was good for 6 points. A tip pass to Josiah Purry for the touchdown.
Yeah, nothing's better than 1 for 1, 100%. You can't ask for anything more. And as fate has it, the ball's tipped by the defensive back and falls in the hands of Josiah Purry, so you got to feel pretty fortunate. They haven't had to really pass the ball. So I feel like Norristown staying in their game plan. I think they plan to really run the football, and I think this is the half where they felt they could wear down Bensalem. They're bigger up front than Bensalem. A couple of the Bensalem players go both ways. I think they figured in the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter, they can really wear them down. So I thought Coach Grove felt it was very important to have a lead at halftime. So he has it.
On the other side of scrimmage, the real story on offense has been Davis. Davis, the speedster in the backfield for Bensalem, has really done the job. 16 carries for 61 yards.
Yeah, he again has carried the ball against Swittenberg 16 times, this time for 61 yards and also 2 touchdowns, 1 through the air and 1 on the ground. So really, the offensive show tonight, the showcase have definitely been Keith Davis and Troy Swittenberg. And I have a feeling that's going to continue in the second half. I don't think coaches are really going to change too much. There might be a couple minor adjustments here and there in some of the blocking schemes, but I think both Keith Davis and Troy Swittenberg are going to receive the football.
And quarterback Rob Dunner has gone 4 for 10 for 110 yards, and that's some impressive numbers there for a high school quarterback in the first half.
He's done a really good job. He's had a lot of play-action rollouts, and he's rolled out to his left a couple times, which is tough to throw for a quarterback. Your feet aren't square, and you're throwing against your body. He's done a pretty nice job. I'm impressed, and he's had some pressure put on him. And we saw a shotgun formation at the end of the second half, or the first half, and I wouldn't be surprised if they showed some shotgun formation. It seems like they're having a little trouble blocking Norristown up front. Maybe that'll give them a little bit of extra time to throw the football.
And certainly turnovers, mistakes, penalties were a big part of that first half and the extensive scoring that we saw with 35 points racked up in the first half of play. Norristown will benefit here, though, as well, Dean, receiving the opening kickoff. We're almost set to play here on a beautiful night at Roosevelt Field, and a real nice crowd, folks. As the evening has worn on, the crowd has gotten steadily larger, and that's nice to see. It's good to see the young folks and folks of all ages out to support the football team.
Sure is. I'm a teacher at the high school, and it's just great to see as many students as possible, trying to get the student body involved in all the sports, field hockey, soccer, football. It's good for the school itself. It's good for the community.
I agree, absolutely. And as we mentioned at the top of the show, this is a kind of a special year for the Eagles. Not only do they have 7 home games, but that final home game is anticipated to be the reemergence of a long-held tradition, although not quite the way it used to be. It was always Norristown Upper Merion on Thanksgiving Day, but now it's Norristown PW, and with the great job that Joe Iacovetti has done down at Plymouth White Marsh, that could be quite a tremendous ball game.
I think you're going to see a packed house on that day. I think if you've gone to any of the basketball games PW and Norristown's had, you've seen packed houses. So I know where I'm going to be Thanksgiving.
You and me both, Dean. We're almost ready to play here, folks. The Norristown Eagles will take possession first as we begin this second half of play. I'm with Dean here. I think you're going to see the ball on the ground from Norristown. Again, they're going to try and use Swittenberg as much as possible to further wear down the Owl defense.
Well, it took me one kick to realize after the first time. I couldn't figure out what they were trying to do. It looked like a little onside, but obviously they're trying to keep it after the second kick. They're trying to keep it away from Swittenberg and Stewart back there. They're game breakers. They can really hurt you with returns.
So Rob Brown set to kick off for the Bensalem Owls. Owls down by 7 to the host Eagles in the Suburban One League National Conference game. As Dean told you at the beginning of the program, this is a big game for both squads. Norristown 1-2 in league play. Bensalem 0-3. Ball's up. They kick it deep. That's surprising. Goes to Swittenberg at about the 12-yard line. He's got blockers in the wedge. Cuts up the middle. Turns it outside. Gets knocked sideways. Maintains his balance. And a good job in pursuit that time. as Swittenberg has dropped at about the 44-yard line. That time, I believe the tackler was number 18, T.J. Stansel.
That's really surprising. They kicked it right to Swittenberg. He busted it up the middle on a wedge. Somebody got a piece of his feet there and just slowed him up enough for someone else to come up and make the tackle. So I think Bensalem's very lucky that wasn't broken for a touchdown.
But once again, the Eagles, starting with tremendous field position, will have 1st and 10 at their own 44-yard line. And the Eagles, to their credit, have done an excellent job of capitalizing on the opportunities they've seen here tonight. Once again, number 13, Chris Blake, the quarterback. Number 11, Jimmy Zitzer in motion. The handoff to Swittenberg. Up the middle, good for about 2 yards.
Yeah, they're back to that I formation. They put Zitzer in motion to the Norristown sideline, and then they ran away from that. They're trying to fool Bensalem's defense with putting Zitzer in motion and then running the opposite way, and they pulled the left guard to try to kick out the tackle. That time, Bensalem did a good job stopping the run.
Blake in from the sideline with Roger Grove's call here on 2nd and 9 from about the 46-yard line. Pronsati goes wide right. Zitzer lines up on the strong side. Good to see Josiah Perry, the tight end, in the game. He came off the field hurt. Oh, the quick toss. Boy, I'll tell you, good job that time by Blake to get that ball away. He had a defender right in his face off the snap, and he almost laid it out there for Paul Pronsati.
Sure did. I thought I would surprise Bensalem with a pass on 2nd and long. They've only passed, that's only the second pass we've had of the evening by Norristown. But boy, they had some pressure. That left defensive end really came in, was coming on Chris Blake, and he did a good job getting that pass off.
So the Eagles with 3rd and long here, 3rd and 9, their first offensive series here in the second half. This time they bring everybody to the right side. Show Swittenberg out to the right along with Pronsati and Zitzer. The straight drop up the middle to Swittenberg, off his hands, incomplete. Nice throw that time by Blake, and there's a flag on the play, Dean.
I think we might have a roughing the passer.
Sure do. Personal foul.
Personal foul. I think the defender got in Blake's face, and he cannot hit the quarterback in the face, so that's going to be a 15-yarder. And I'll tell you what, incomplete pass, 3rd and long, 15-yard penalty. It's 1st down Norristown. That really hurts Bensalem.
Once again, the big penalty earlier in the game, it was against the Eagles when they had created a 4th and long on an Owls drive, and a face mask created a 3rd and very short, which ultimately resulted in a Bensalem touchdown. But the Eagles get the break this time, and they'll have it 1st and 10 inside Bensalem territory at the 39-yard line.
But that was a big play. That 15-yard penalty gives them a 1st down.
I'm impressed with Chris Blake's arm strength, Dean. He really can deliver the ball.
Yeah, he throws a very good ball. He threw a lot. I think he had about 130 yards against Central Bucks West last week. He throws a very good ball.
The pitch, this time to Swittenberg. The quick pitch, cuts it inside. He's got a man dragging him down. And that time the tackler, number 33, Azuna Anyanwu. I hope Azuna doesn't get too many more tackles.
Yeah, I'm glad he doesn't play for Norristown. But he made a heck of a play. That was a quick pitch to try that. We've been going up the middle a couple times here in the last couple plays, and they probably a quick pitch on the outside, and he made a heck of a play.
A good job to shed the blocker that time.
As a statistician, trying to show us that name again, and I hope we're saying it correctly.
2nd and 10. The pitch again, this time with running room. Swittenberg, look at that cut. Just put a man on the ground. Troy Swittenberg finally driven out of bounds at the 17-yard line. He put a guy on the ground that time.
Yeah, last play they ran that quick pitch and they split back. For this time they went to the true eye, and Garvin Stewart just pancaked the cornerback and freed Swittenberg for a big gain. They really had the numbers on the flank to the right side that time. Bensalem was not playing. They were playing to the left side of the field rather than the right side.
Almost looked like there were no white shirts out there at all. The Eagles had a great formation that time. Super execution brings them 1st and 10 from the Owls' 17-yard line. The quick handoff to Stewart. Oh, takes it over the line of scrimmage, and he is met head on by a linebacker, I believe, that time. Looks like it was number 68, John Totino.
Yeah, he made a nice play. Again, they've really done, Norristown's really had exclusively tonight Yaboa Cobalt pull from, he's playing the right guard, pulling to his left, and that time trying to kick out the tackle to give Garvin Stewart some room, but however, Bensalem did a nice job again on the defensive line.
9:42 here in this third quarter. The Eagles ahead in this ball game, 21-14, driving again deep in Bensalem territory, 2nd and 9. The pitch to Swittenberg. Stewart, 2 men. One gets shed, though, and Swittenberg's going to be dropped for a loss. And that time, even Garvin Stewart couldn't block both those guys.
Yeah, Bensalem had defended that much better. On the short side of the field, they went with a pitch again, but Bensalem was ready on that side. The previous plays before, Bensalem was playing to the wide side of the field, and Norristown had caught him on that toss from the eye before. Looks like Swittenberg's got a equipment problem.
Official time. Loss of about a yard on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd and 10 from the 17.
Well, I must say that I think that Swittenberg must be over 100 yards by now. He's probably at 110. The way he's going, he could have 200 by the end of the night.
You're right, Dean. Greg tells me he's at 113 right now with 8:56 to play here in the third stanza. They go to the eye again. Stewart and Swittenberg, of course. Blake. He rolls out the play action. He's got Stewart. He goes up the middle, though, to Purry. Oh, boy, I'll tell you, the Eagles get a break there. That ball should have been picked off. Yeah, right up the middle that time on the defense. It was
Blake really underthrew that ball. Coach Grove is giving him a little of his feelings here because it was a play action, and Garvin circled out of the backfield and was wide open at the end of the edge of the end zone, and Blake did not read him. He was focused on one receiver.
Yeah, I agree. Stewart, we could see obviously materializing up here, as you say, wide open, Dean, but Blake focused down the middle, and lucky he was not picked off. Albie Morano in to attempt what will be looks like about a 34-yard field goal.
Looks like we're having some trouble getting some players on the field.
Eagles have to waste a timeout, Dean.
Yeah.
That's not good. That's the second time we've seen that tonight.
There was definitely some confusion. Number 4, A.J. Hamaday, was rushing on the field, and I was probably about 10 seconds left on the play clock, and Norristown takes a timeout. But again, that's probably a smart play. Here's a chance to convert, go ahead by 10 points. Let's be smart and get the timeout.
So Bensalem comes up big here on defense as the Eagles were deep in enemy territory. But the Owls have created 4th and 10 for Norristown. Certainly Albie Morano has plenty of leg for this ball. 34 is well within his range.
Sure it is. Albie Morano is also a full-time soccer player. And on some of the days, I guess Coach Grove has worked it out with Coach Rosarowitz to where Albie can come to games, obviously on Friday and Saturdays to kick and also to practice sometimes during the week. So I think he's been a big help to the Norristown football program. I know it's been a tough year for him to begin, but Albie's a very good kicker, excellent kid, and I think he's going to bounce back with some excellent games this year.
So the Eagles will reset here, try it once again after the timeout. They've had a chance to regroup. And Hamaday in talking to his teammates as Morano prepares mentally for this kick. It'll be 34 yards. Chance to put the Eagles up by 10. Good snap. Plenty of leg. It's just a matter of direction. It's good.
That was a big confidence builder for Albie Morano. I know he really struggled in a couple games this year, and some people felt he lost a game this year at the end of the game, but that 34-yard field goal was very nice. Puts Norristown up by 10 points.
Had just enough that time, Dean, and gives the Eagles a lead that requires Bensalem to score twice now, and that's important.
Hopefully that timeout doesn't come back and haunt Norristown. A.J. Hamaday was the holder, and he was late getting on the field, so Coach Grove in films is not going to be very pleased with that at all.
I tend to agree with you there.
If I'm him, I'm going to hide in a chair somewhere and hope Coach Grove can't find me.
Well, that was the first offensive possession. Eagles will now kick off to the 2 deep players, Taylor and Davis. And I think you're going to see this kick go to the far side of the field where Taylor resides. They're going to keep it away from speedster Keith Davis.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Morano's done a great job tonight kicking the ball deep, and Bensalem has done a poor job handling the football. So it looks like the they're up a little closer. They're more at the 5 than they were at the goal line. Another good kick.
Well, boomer. Taken by Taylor at the 7-yard line. He's got the blockers out in front, cuts back upfield, and look at that tackle. Is that Jim Zitzer again? That's 2 great downfield plays on special teams by number 11, Jim Zitzer.
Jim Zitzer's a complete player. He's their wingback, goes in motion, again, used exclusively for blocking, and obviously he does a great job on the kickoff team. Good coverage that time.
Eagles have certainly had the benefit of field position tonight. They've done an excellent job keeping Bensalem back deep, and the Eagles have taken over. I don't know what the average point of possession is. It's probably about the 40-yard line.
Sure is, and I think Bensalem's average is about the 25.
This time Davis is the lone back again. That's single back set. They go up the middle with him, though.
Nice play by Doug White. Left tackle made a great play, shedding his blocker.
Going to be stopped for a very short gain, if any at all. Let's call it a yard, make it 2nd and 9.
Yeah, it looked like the guard pulled, and Doug White got in his hip pocket and fouled the guard and led him right to the running back and pulled down Davis for about a yard gain.
Steve Farris wide to the left. Krishawn Lewis, the speedster, on the far right side. The quick drop outside to Farris. He bobbles and drops. Well, Steve Farris has some apologizing to do to quarterback Rob Dunner.
Rob Dunner has done a good job getting the ball to his receivers, and unfortunately, I would say he's had 3 or 4 balls dropped. That looked like it was going to be an easy, at least 5-yard gain just on the pass itself without the run. Makes it 3rd and long. This is going to be a pass situation for Bensalem deep in their territory.
Look for perhaps Davis out of the backfield or Krishawn Lewis. Lewis comes wide to the left. Dunner again rolling left. Has Lewis. Hamaday's there. Pardon me. Ian Stead is there. What a great catch
that was
by Krishawn Lewis. I can't believe that catch.
Bruner did a good job throwing the ball up, and that's all you need to do with Lewis at 6'4", and Eric Stead Ian Stead only about maybe 5'10". He just went up and got that football. That was a great catch. And as he lunged, he has such big hands, he gets holds that football for a couple extra yards.
Well, that's a great play.
I'm sorry, Norristown only sent four rushers in and did a good job getting some pressure on the quarterback. Still with 7 defensive backs. That was a great catch by Lewis.
Big gainer for Krishawn Lewis from Rob Dunner. 1st and 10 in Eagle territory. Ball at the Eagle 41-yard line. The handoff to Davis. He's got room on the right side. Way to stay at home that time by Darrell Johnson and Garvin Stewart. Davis probably picks up 4 on that play.
Yeah, it looked like Davis should have maybe bounced or cut that back inside instead of bouncing outside. That's where all the pursuit was.
I agree. He took it right to the defense
right
that
to
time.
The defenders. Darrell Johnson did a good job. Darrell Johnson's playing a great game tonight.
Timeout on the field. Officials' time.
Norristown's been able to get some pressure on the quarterback, only sending or rushing 4 defensive linemen and keeping 7 men back in coverage. However, it's tough when the guy's 6'4", towing all the defensive backs to just throw it up and he goes catches it.
And that young man is going to wind up in a Division I program. There's no two ways about it as a wide receiver.
He's a heck of a basketball player as well, so he's at least a 2-sport athlete.
6:35 to play here in the 3rd quarter. The score, Norristown 24, Bensalem 14. 2nd and 8 for the Owls. Dunner again rolls left. Good pursuit. He's got time, though. He gets it off over the middle. Krishawn Lewis. Boy, that's a timing play. Dunner threw that right into triple coverage, and Lewis just came in front of all of them and grabbed it for the reception of the 1st down.
That was a slot left formation. They had Lewis in the slot position, and number 17, Art Brown, wide out, and they just ran a little curl in there, and he was able to roll out. Bruner was able to roll out and make the completion. Again, he's throwing against his body, but he's doing a heck of a job.
I have to tell you, Lewis was not in the spot where that ball was thrown.
No,
he let that ball go. Lewis was 5 yards away.
Yes, I agree. When he crawled around, he got to it.
1st and 10 for the Owls. They're moving the ball here on their first offensive possession of the 2nd half. They have the ball at the Eagle 29-yard line. Davis got some room to the right. Once again, it's Garvin Stewart, called his name a lot tonight, in on the tackle, assisted by Mike Ginyard.
the right side of the line for an off tackle there. The right side of the line of the Bensalem Owls did a good job making a big push. Pick up about 5.
Let's call it 2nd and 5 now from the 24 of Norristown. Art Brown comes wide left. Lewis to the right, backs in the eye. Dunner, the quick handoff up the middle, and a big gainer to the fullback, close to the 10-yard line. That time the ball carrier was number 32, Sean O'Malley. It's the first time they've called O'Malley's number tonight, and he makes the most of it.
It's a quick hitter, and what they did is it was like what they call an influence block. Their linebackers are supposed to read the guards. The guards pulled to the right, and the ball went up the middle, and the linebackers followed the guard, and that's where the play wasn't there. So they call an influence block. It was very effective. It's first down.
Picked up almost 15 yards on that play.
Boy.
It's going to be 1st and 10, but almost at the 10-yard line. It's going to be tough to get a first down without getting into the end zone. This time, Davis off the left side. He bounces outside. Second effort gets him about 3 more yards. He had an Eagle defender hanging on his back, Dean, but somehow managed to propel himself ahead to the 5.
Sure is. It's an impressive drive at Bensalem. They started at the 20, and it looked like they were going to fall apart. They had a big gain on a 3rd and 5, and now they're down there at about the 6-yard line looking to score it. This is what Bensalem needed to get back in the ball game.
Absolutely. 4:21 to play here in this 3rd quarter. Eagle defense back on its heels a little bit here. Rob Dunner doing a good job leading the offensive attack here for the Owls. Lewis goes in motion to the far side. This time the handoff inside to Davis. That was an interesting play call. Looked like they were going that rollout right, and the quick hit inside to Keith Davis.
Yeah, they put Lewis in motion to the right, to the Bensalem sidelines. It was like a sprint draw. The quarterback sprints back like he's going to roll out, and all of a sudden quickly hands it off, what they call a sprint draw. Very effective play, puts it about 3rd and 2. This could be 4-down territory for Bensalem. I'm not sure if they're going to go for a field goal. They might try to punch it in here.
I agree. O'Malley now in the backfield along with Keith Davis, O'Malley replacing Howard, who left with an injury earlier in this half. They roll out for the pass. Touchdown. Well, I tell you, nice play that time, and that is Krishawn Lewis with the 2-yard reception from Rob Dunner.
They really did a good job, Bensalem, of setting that up. Previous play, they ran a sprint draw by putting Lewis in motion. This time they put him in that wing back, put him in motion again, and just had him do a little up and out, and there he was, wide open as the quarterback rolled out. So Norristown was looking for the run, and they got the pass. Puts Bensalem right back in the ball game.
Very impressive play selection by Bensalem. Got to give some tips to John Gruden. I think the Philadelphia Eagles could use some help here.
Bensalem's coach has done a nice job mixing up the pass and the run. They've really utilized their good players. They really have.
Brown to attempt the extra point. Flag on the play.
There's some confusion. Look, it's hard to see from up here. It looked like Norristown had jumped off sides. Huh? That was Bensalem jumped off sides. It's going to push the ball 5 yards back.
And Dean, that was a 10-play drive covering 80 yards. And boy, what a super effort that time by Bensalem. They really ate up some clock and ate up some turf.
They sure did. They needed that to get back in the ball game.
Rob Brown will try it again from 5 yards back. Again, the long count. Good pressure by the Eagles, but Brown gets it up. Looks good from here. It is. Nice kick that time by Rob Brown, and now it's a 3-point game, 24-21. And folks, you're seeing some good football here tonight. This is exciting if you're a fan.
I'll tell you, I give the Bensalem coach a lot of credit for not diverting away from their game plan. Their obvious game plan was to have their quarterback throw the ball as much as hand it off, and has really kept Norristown off balance, scoring 21 points.
The big play on that last drive, as we spoke about, was on 3rd down. Eagles looked like they had the Owls pinned back. A 37-yard pass play from Dunner to Lewis on just a spectacular athletic catch.
Yes, it was. And that's what they're trying to do. They're getting the ball to their good athletes, Lewis and Davis.
And Dunner is now 7 of 14 with 160 yards through the air tonight.
It's impressive. That's an impressive game for a high school quarterback. he's on track for a 200-plus yard game.
3:17 to play here in this third quarter. Don't go anywhere. 24-21, the Eagles on top, but certainly not a comfortable lead.
No, it sure isn't. It'll be interesting what Bensalem does here if they try to kick the ball to Swittenberg. It almost backfired last time. I got to imagine they're going to try to squib it.
And it is kicked in the air, but taken by Darrell Johnson at about the 22-yard line. Darrell up the middle, surges forward, and once again the Eagles out beyond the 40-yard line. Looks like it was a fumble at the end of that play.
Looked like it must have been a fumble. The officials are spotting it where it was fumbled and recovered by that's James Burrell.
Yes, it was. James Burrell alertly on top of that ball.
Those linemen don't get to touch the football very often, so when they see it on the ground, they're going to try to pounce on it.
Burrell's got a fumble recovery and an interception tonight. He's had the ball more than he's ever had. Once again, the Eagles, excellent field position, starting at their own 46.
That was a pooch kick that went to about the 30, but Darrell Johnson did a decent job getting that ball up to the 40, and the fumble got it to the 45.
The backs are split. The pitch goes to Garvin Stewart. Cuts it up inside. Looked like he had a face mask there when he was ripped down. I don't see any flags on the play.
I think the officials missed that one.
Garvin lost his footing there. Only got about a yard on the carry.
Again, they put Zitzer in motion. This time they ran to Zitzer's side, coming toward Norristown, and try to get that block on the end. However, they did a good job shutting Zitzer's block and making the tackle.
Chris Blake will have Paul Pronsati wide right. Zitzer to the left on the strong side. And here he comes again, right at us. Blake with the drop. He's got pressure, gets it away. Nice pass. Jim Zitzer was right there. Rob Blake, an excellent ball.
Again, they put Zitzer in motion to Norristown sideline. He went up about 5 and cut out, and Blake hit him, run the numbers. Good thing he got the ball off when he did. That end was coming right for him. One more second, and it was a sack.
My apologies to Chris Blake. I think I'm mixing and matching my quarterback names. I think I called him Rob Blake a minute ago there. But Chris Blake, nice pass. He had pursuit from the blind side. Got it off nicely, though. About 5 yards on the play. Brings up 3rd and a long 4. Again, the Eagles going to the air a bit more here in this second half after a very successful first half on the ground. There we go to Swittenberg. Cuts it up inside. First down. Good job that time by Troy Swittenberg. After he got through the initial hole, an excellent job on the subsequent carry into the defensive secondary.
That was an interesting play. It's a tough play for a high school to run. They pulled the right guard and their right tackle to the left, and the running back went to the right to try to seal a wall for him. That's very difficult timing for that. Greg DeLucia did a nice job sealing off the tackle and the linebacker that time to give Swittenberg an opening.
So Norristown, a big 3rd down conversion, brings up 1st and 10 from the Owl 40. Little misdirection there. Swittenberg up the middle, and boy, he is hit hard. Fumble, ball's loose. I'll tell you, that should have been a dead ball. Garvin Stewart back in pursuit, and James Burrell again all over the ball. That time there's a flag at the end of this play.
Boy,
it's going to be against Norristown. It's going to tack 15 yards onto the end of that play, I think, Dean.
I think it's going to tack on 15 yards, and it looked to me that Swittenberg's pursuit was stopped, and the official didn't blow the whistle, and they're going to call it a fumble.
Yeah, that's a tough call. Somebody's got to blow the whistle there.
Oh, it's a personal foul against Bensalem.
Oh, our apologies to the Eagles, yeah.
However, it looks like Bensalem's going to get the football. That's after the play, so it's not going to affect the fumble.
Swittenberg was hit hard that time by number 68, John Totino.
Correct.
Driven back, but I mean, his forward progress was certainly stopped.
The whistles were slow. And it seems like in the NFL, the whistles are a little quicker than they are in high school, and they don't call those fumbles. That time, the whistles were held, and the fumble stays.
Break both ways. After that fumble recovery, went for about 15 or 16 yards. It's brought right back by the personal foul call. But a big turnover with 59 seconds to play in the quarter. The Owls with a chance to take the lead.
This is going to give the Owls some confidence.
Looks like Norristown has too many men on the field.
Oh.
Not seen by the officials. Davis off the right side, good for about 7 yards.
I'll tell you, Sean O'Malley made a heck of a block on Doug White to free Davis. Both teams are really utilizing their fullbacks as blockers, and they're both doing a great job.
I apologize. It wasn't too many men. It was just one guy getting on real late.
Yeah,
a lot of discussion up here in the booth. I thought maybe we had an extra player out there. It was an 8-yard carry, though. Keith Davis is really cranking it out here. 2nd and 2. Davis off the left side. 1st down and a couple more. Still going, and he's going to go down to about the Norristown 40.
Boy, I don't like to get on the officials too much, but it seems like they're allowing that whistle to be a little late. And when there's a pile-on like that, that's when kids are going to get hurt. They got to blow that whistle a little quicker. His forward progress was stopped to begin with. We got a player down. Bobby Davis pops back up. It looks like he got rolled on. I'll tell you, Jeff, the offensive line of Bensalem's doing a good job here. They're really blowing Norristown, starting to blow them off the football.
And we won't have another snap here in the 3rd quarter as we wind down the final moments. We'll have 12 minutes of play to go. The Eagles still on top, 24-21. But Dean, I'd say the tide has turned a little bit here.
Yes, it has. At the offensive line, I've noticed in the last 2 series that Bensalem's really getting a big push up front by their offensive line. Paul Yeager, Nick Lombardo, Andy Semick, and Chris Flees are doing, and Jason Brown are doing a good job starting to control that offensive line. And they're not as big as Norristown. I really thought Norristown was going to take control of the game up by 10, and now it looks like Bensalem's gaining momentum.
Keith Davis up to 89 yards in this game. His total yards much more, though, because he had a 76-yard pass reception to his credit. Yes, excellent job with total yards tonight by Keith Davis, and we've got plenty of time left to play.
The last 2 series, I would say that Davis is probably averaging about 5 or 6 yards a crack each time he's touching the football. That's just moving the chains, and the tide's turning a little bit here. Norristown's going to have to dig in and stop the run here.
Look at the shot here. Look at the shot here. You can't do that.
First and 10 now as we begin this 4th quarter of play. They go to Davis again. Garvin Stewart's all around him. Can't quite get him, though, and he picks up about 4 more on that carry.
Bensalem's been a pretty basic run football team. They had a lot of straight-on blocking, but that time they were able to pull the guard, Nick Lombardo, and get him to kick out the tackle and free some space for Keith Davis as he picked up about 5 yards. So it seems like 5 yards a crack each time for Bensalem last 2 series.
2nd down now from the Norristown 37. The Owls once again looking to capitalize on a Norristown turnover. The quick hit up the middle to O'Malley. 1st down, or darn close to it. I'll tell you, that's a nice carry that time by Sean O'Malley.
I think they're going to give them the 1st down. It looks like they got a good spot here. They just got to get to that 30 for the 1st down.
Yep.
They're giving it to them.
Well, I tell you, Norristown's got to come up with a defensive stop here. Bensalem seems to be moving the ball almost at will in this second half.
I thought Bensalem was wearing down in the beginning of the 3rd quarter. It looks as though Norristown's starting to get a little tired.
Rob Dunner has his backs in the eye. Eagles show blitz, back off. But
nice play by Mike Ginyard.
Oh, yeah, good penetration. No, not at all, Dean. It was an excellent play by Ginyard and Darrell Johnson on the back end of that play, along with number 8, Vaughn.
I think that's Josiah Perry.
Josiah Perry. I apologize. Sorry about that, Josiah. I should know number 8 is Josiah Perry by now.
Josiah's played a very solid game tonight at the left defensive end. You're not getting outside of Josiah too often. Now, he's a senior, so he's one of the leaders of that defense.
Does a great job on his defensive end.
Yes, he does. He's about 6'3", probably about 210, excellent athlete. Lanky, gets his hands up to knock down some passes.
2nd and 10, no gain on that play. The straight drop, looks outside to Lewis. Oh, I'll tell you, it was right there and broken up nicely by Ian Stead. I'll tell you what, Stead stumbled a little bit there. Lewis was wide open, and Stead did a great job to make contact and knock that ball free.
Rob Dooner did a good job of getting that ball up. He's just throwing that ball up for grabs, basically, and figuring Lewis, with his size, is going to out-jump Ian Stead. But Ian Stead did a good job of recovering and getting back to that ball. That's a tough ball to catch. This is a big play here for Norristown, 3rd and 10. They need a big stop here.
Interesting field position, too. If you get stopped on 3rd down, it's too far for a field goal. A lot of time left. I'd say it's 2 down time.
I agree. It's about a 47-yard field goal.
Dunner again rolls left. Davis out front to block. The pass over the middle, overthrown, incomplete. And that time the intended receiver, number 5, Akil Fleith.
Bensalem got a break there. Lewis was leaning. He was jumping a little bit. The officials didn't call off sides on that. They were very lucky. But it's 4th and 10. It's going to be an interesting play call here for Bensalem. I thought maybe they would try to run the ball. If they're getting 5 yards of crack, maybe take their 3rd and 4th down and run it to get the first down. But they opted to pass, roll out again to the left. Looks like they're going for it. It would be a 47-yard field goal. It would be it's out of range.
Now, from what we've seen of Bensalem kicker Rob Brown, I don't think he's got that kind of leg.
No.
Big play right now. We said the last one was big. This one's bigger. 4th and 10 from the Eagle 30. O'Malley stays home to block. They roll left again. There's the pursuit by Webster. They get the pass away. It's up. It's bobbled. Oh, almost picked off by Milligan. And that was a dangerous play that time. Rob Dunner threw it into traffic.
It sure was. Darrell Johnson looked like he was on a blitz from the linebacker position, put good pressure on Dooner, and I'll tell you what, did a nice job.
So the Eagles come up big. Just as we started to say, they looked a little bit tired.
They did a great
came up
job.
large for us.
Bend it, but don't break, right? I did a great defensive line. A lot of those kids up front are playing both ways. They did a great job stopping Bensalem. That was a big play.
So the Eagles take over on downs. We'll have the ball again. 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line. There's 9:48 to play. The score, 24-21. The Eagles up by 3 here.
Coach Grove's looking for a 6-7 minute drive here.
Blake goes to Swittenberg, right up the middle. Good hole that time. Picks up 5, maybe 6 yards on the play.
They're running up the gut right at Bensalem, and they got 5 yards of pop there, just as Bensalem was doing in Norristown. So I know Coach Grove is looking for, with 9:30 left, they're looking for a 6 or 7 minute drive to control the ball. Looks like Brian Webster might be a little bit banged up. Looks like he got rolled on. Now they're going to force him out of the game because the official stopped and called for an injury. He has to come out for at least 1 play. That's tough when he's the center, and you got to bring a center in that's cold.
Timing's not there necessarily between Blake and the backup.
So
that is a tough call.
That's a tough situation.
It's number 60, it looks like, Adam Irvine.
Right, he's a
6'2 senior.
Senior. I think he's a junior. I had him a couple years in class. I forgot how old he was.
He's getting older, too.
Yeah.
They do a good job on the exchange. Up the middle again. First down.
Real good job.
I tell you, nothing curious about that. 2 plays right up the middle, right at him, and the Eagles push it through for another first down.
Give Adam Irvine a lot of credit for coming in cold, getting a good snap, good exchange. We take that for granted, that center snap, but it's not very. It's a very difficult situation, difficult position.
Eagles now 1st and 10 from their own 41. Clock is running, which is what Coach Roger Grove wants to see. 8:54 to go in this ball game. His Eagles up by 3 points. Same play up the middle, this time off the right side a little bit. Swittenberg gets spun to the outside, picks up maybe 2 yards on the carry.
An off tackle, and Swittenberg couldn't get his shoulder square to the field, and he was tripped up just as he approached the line of scrimmage and was brought down. I think you're going to see Swittenberg right here for the next couple plays.
Well, until Bensalem can show Coach Grove they've got the ability to stop it, I don't blame them. That favorite I formation again. This time the pitch goes to the right side behind Stewart. Swittenberg's got room. First down. About 8 yards on the play.
Bensalem starting to creep up and putting 8 men in the box, which means they're keeping 8 men within a 3 or 4 yard alignment to try to control the run. But that time when the I formation, they pitch it to the right, and they didn't have it. They were out against Norristown, outflanked them to the right. Gives it a first down with 8 minutes left. This is exactly what Coach Grove was looking for. 2 first down, taking 1:30 off the clock.
And they're in Owl territory here. Ball spotted at about the 48-yard line.
Well, that's
some motion there.
They're going to call encroachment on the nose guard. Either Lombardo or Jones for Bensalem had jumped off sides, got in the neutral zone.
Indeed, that is the call. Good eyes up there, Dean. Eagles get a break there. That's certainly not what Bensalem wanted to have happen on first down.
Yeah, making a 1st and 5. And Swittenberg's been getting 5 yards of a crack each time he's touching the football.
Swittenberg off the left side into the secondary. First down again. Wow, I'll tell you, this young man can play some football.
Yes, he can. But again, Garvin Stewart's doing a heck of a job making his blocks, and the offensive line is doing a good job sustaining their blocks to give Swittenberg an opening.
9 yards on that carry, Dean. Gets him up to 153 yards for the game.
153 yards for a sophomore running back. 2 years ago, he's playing Stewart football, leading them to a 6-0 undefeated season. Now he's playing varsity football. Coach Grove is going to be happy to have him for 2.5 more years.
6:55 to go in the ball game. The Eagles moving the ball well here late in the fourth quarter. Line of scrimmage, the 31 of Bensalem. Swittenberg has the blockers out to the left side. Looks to turn the corner. Good gain that time by Swittenberg.
Got a good pull by James Burrell. I believe at this time he was playing the left guard. He did a good job pulling out. Looks like he got banged up a little bit and sprung Swittenberg for a, looks like another first down. Is that correct?
Absolutely. It looks to me close to a first down. Looks like they're going to call a timeout to measure.
Looks like they're going to measure.
It looked to me like Swittenberg finished up closer to the 20, but they've got that spotted at about the 22. Take a moment to
it's going to be tight.
Measure this. Yep, sure is. We got a good view of it here, though.
It's going to be a little short, about 6 inches. So it puts it about 2nd in inches.
And that's probably just as well for Norristown. Ideal situation for them. Takes up some more time on the clock.
I just saw Dennis Flynn take off A.J. Hamaday into the locker room. He must be banged up, and he's the holder for Norristown, so maybe that could affect some things later on down the line.
Once again, folks, we'd like to remind you that this game is brought to you by the Norristown Area School District under the direction and production of Mr. Tony Koya. And his camera folks, we want to thank Azad Sharozian and Alicia Milner. We also want to thank our statistician, Greg Fry, for doing his usual stellar job. And Dean, I want to thank you. Your debut here tonight at the broadcast
yes, it has been.
Dean Behrens, folks, doing a stellar job tonight himself.
I appreciate the opportunity.
The quick handoff to Stewart. Ooh. First down.
Well, that second effort was tremendous by Stewart as he looked like he was stopped short of the first down and he kind of lunged forward.
Garvin looked like a pinball there.
Yes,
he was moving around between a couple white jerseys. But that's just what the doctor ordered.
Yes, it is. Garvin Stewart goes 6'1", 190. So he's a pretty good size fullback.
Eagles now driving deep into Bensalem turf. It's now the line of scrimmage, the 17-yard line, let's call it. 1st and 10 Eagles. 6:18 to go in the ball game. This time Swittenberg is caught behind the line of scrimmage. Dean, he'll be lucky to have gotten back there.
Yeah,
good penetration.
Yes, it was. I'm trying to catch the number.
Looked like number 5, Akil Flythe.
Number 33, Azana Anoa. I guess his name, we're back to him again. He made a heck of a play.
Now you're gutsy. See, I never would have called that number again. It would have been anything but 33.
I had to give it a shot.
We call it no gain on the play. 2nd and 10 for the Eagles.
If Norristown can punch it in here for a touchdown, this can really close the door on Bensalem for the night with 5:45 left.
Stewart and Swittenberg in the eye. They follow Stewart. Swittenberg takes a heavy hit, but a good gain that time. Garvin Stewart cleared the path off the left side.
Again, this is just straight ahead blocking by the Norristown offensive line. Nothing fancy, no pulls. Just good old-fashioned mouth football. Just get the ball to Swittenberg and see how much he can get. Looking at about 3rd and 6. What are the chances of Chris Blake throwing the football here, Jeff?
Slim and none, I think.
I think you're right. I think Chris Blake's done a good job controlling this football team, though.
We're down to 5 minutes even to go in this contest. Eagles at the 13-yard line. 3rd and 6, we'll call it. Oh, a little play action. He's got Stewart. Goes to the outside. There's a penalty.
I think we got a hold. We're going to have a hold, I think, too.
Yeah, even if that ball had been completed, I think it would have been a hold against the Eagles.
He's hurt. It looks like Yaboa Cobalt is down. I think they're going to call the hold on him. He was pulling out from the guard position to give the quarterback, Chris Blake, protection. I can't quite see what he's grabbing. Looks like a knee. But boy, Garvin Stewart was wide open. They just could have got that pass to him and just lobbed it up there. That was a good call by Coach Grove. Play action.
He showed us, huh?
He showed us, sure did.
So he's down there and we're up here.
And there's no one, and there wasn't anyone covering him either.
Nope.
So that was a good call by Coach Grove. Even if it was caught, yeah, they would have got him with a hold. And we got the hold right here. The official makes a call. Now, if Bensalem accepts it, it's going to make it about 3rd and 15. If they decline it, it's going to be 4th and 6.
I think they push him back here, take him out of Albie Morano's range.
Well,
although a field goal's not huge here, it takes him up to 6 points.
Yeah.
Obviously, it forces a touchdown.
Correct.
By the Owls.
Bensalem will still have 4:49 to score. Looks like Yaboa is grabbing his knee. It's tough to see from out here. Dennis Flynn is on the field attending to him. Yaboa is a 6'1", 235-pound guard. He's 11th grader, so again, another junior. I know he spent a lot of time in the weight room this year really working on getting much stronger. Good kid, hard worker. Coach Grove really enjoys having him on the football team. It's good to see him walking off the field, running off the field. Crowd gives him a nice applause.
And Bensalem does accept the penalty, drives him Eagles back 10 yards.
I guess this kind of surprises me. I thought maybe they would opt to try to just keep Norristown to a field goal. This gives them another opportunity, but this is about a little longer than I thought, about 3rd and 17.
It was 10 yards, I guess, from the point of the infraction there.
Yes.
So that really drives them back. And actually, they're going to call it 3rd and 20. Well, that was a 15-yard net gain. It was 10 yards from the point of the foul. The straight drop. Blake under pressure. Sacked. Big play for Bensalem.
Well, that was
a 4th down.
Again, Coach Bensalem made a good decision. Took the penalty, got the sack, pins him back to about the 33-yard line, makes it 4th down.
Interesting situation here. What do you do if you're Roger Grove?
It's about a 45-yard field goal.
Well, I don't know if you kick the field goal or if you punt.
The clock's still running. He wants the clock to run. He might just go for it here. Keep the clock moving. Get it under 4 minutes. I think with this call, he's going to try to run the ball to keep the clock moving.
So the Eagles line up.
And a trips left.
4th and 30 now.
Well, they got a trips left formation. Single back. They go to the pass.
Goes up top. Zitzer wide open.
He was open, too.
He was six steps beyond the nearest defender. There's blown coverage there.
Yeah.
But the Owls get a break. And now, not only do they get a break, they take over on downs in decent field position. They're at their own 31-yard line. The Eagles, folks, remember, were down to the 12.
Correct. 3:49, it gives Bensalem plenty of time to put the football in the end zone, or at least to tie the football game with a field goal.
Not the result the Eagles were looking for there. That hold pushes them back. Then the Owls come up with a huge sack. And on 4th down, Blake and Zitzer can't team up for the completion. So with 3:49 to play, the Eagles clinging to a 3-point advantage. The quick set outside to Lewis. He's got Stead beat. Stewart finally knocks him out of bounds, but a big gainer that time. And I'll tell you, no mystery about that play either.
No, he has had Lewis out, flanked out wide left, and just threw him the football and let him run, which is a good play because it gets him out of bounds as well, stops the clock with 3:40. On the offensive side for Norristown, that's exactly what Coach Grove wanted. He had an 11-play drive, but it just stopped short with no points earned here. But it did wind the clock down.
1st and 10 now from the 45-yard line of Bensalem. The quick drop, same play, out to Lewis. It beats the man again. 10 yards, close to a 1st down. It's Garvin Stewart and Don Milligan forced to make the tackle, and instead getting taken to school a little bit on that far sideline by a fine receiver in Krishawn Lewis.
Now, in high school, again, with a 1st down, they stop the clock, so it gives the offense a little more of an advantage, unlike the pros, where the clock continues to run after a 1st down.
And the Owls now, Dean, in Eagle territory from the Eagle 45-yard line with 10 yards on that last pass play. This time Lewis comes to our side, on the near side. The backs are in the eye. The handoff to Davis off the right side. He slips and falls. Had O'Malley out in front that time. We'll credit Garvin Stewart with the tackle, but Eagles get a little bit of a break there.
They did. He had some open room to run there, and he happened to slip. It looks like the turf is getting a little sloppy out in the middle there, where there's been a lot of action tonight. If you've noticed how Lewis has been lined up, he's either been in a slot position or out wide off the line of scrimmage to give him some cushion from the defensive backs. You can't put him in a bump and run situation.
3 yards on that play brings up 2nd and 7 from the Eagle 41. The straight drop. He's got time. Rolls to the outside. Has a man open. Good timing. No flags, I'll tell you. That's a great play on the outside by Garvin Stewart. Gutsy went for the ball.
Yes, he did. He played the ball. He had good coverage. He had good position on him. Did a good job knocking that ball. Bensalem's lucky that wasn't intercepted.
This will bring up 3rd and 7 now.
We're definitely in two-play territory here, Jeff.
No doubt about it. With 2:28 remaining, the Norristown Eagles up on top, 24-21. The Owls with the ball. Rob Dunner, the long count, the straight quick drop. He's got a man outside who slips, falls, but manages to gain the reception. The receiver that time, Dean, number 21, Pat McCullough. First time we've seen him tonight.
Yeah, that was a good play, and it's going to bring up about 4th and 1. So this is the play of the night so far right here. And then Bensalem's going to take a timeout.
Good call that time by head coach Biz Keeney. This is the ball game right here. His team is marching close to field goal territory, although here in high school they've probably got to move the ball another 20 yards.
Yeah, I agree.
In order to have a reasonable attempt at a field goal.
If we can get a clarification, I think Bensalem still got 2 more timeouts. Is that correct?
I believe that's right, Dean.
I know Norristown has taken one early in the second half, so they have 2 left as well.
It's 4th and a yard.
This is going to come down to the offensive line here, the defensive line. Who's going to get a better push? Bensalem's put together a nice little drive here to get in good field position, but it's going to come down to this play right here.
And I give Rob Dunner a lot of credit. He struggled a little bit in that first half. Got a couple big pass plays, especially that 76-yarder to Davis early on. But his completion percentage wasn't very high. Here in the second half, he's really been remarkable.
He's done an excellent job in the second half getting the ball to their best wide receiver, which is obviously Lewis. And he's done a lot to add on to his stats. Once he catches the ball and run with it, it still counts to the quarterback's yardage. So you can't blame him.
Here's the play of the night, folks. 4th and 1.
So it looks like they're in an I formation.
Dunner, the handoff. They go with the sweep to Davis. 1st down and maybe more.
Oh.
Look at this. Unbelievable. Touchdown.
As he dives into the end zone. He went off the left side. We got a good block there by Sean O'Malley in an I formation. Sean O'Malley's done a heck of a job all night blocking.
Wow, that's a stunner.
Yes,
Keith
that is.
Davis on 4th and 1. They go with the sweep. Not only picks up the 1 yard for the first down, but 30 more into the end zone. A little drama there at the end of that
Yes, it
play.
was.
Little showboat by Davis as he dives over the goal line
Yeah.
with no one in pursuit.
I thought they were supposed to cut down on those taunting rules, but I guess that's not taunting. But
Well, I'll tell you, did you see the speed on that young
boy,
man?
he got through that hole quick. Looks like Norristown had 8 men in the box to stop the run, and he still got through right through there. The offensive line did a good job blocking again.
Oh, low snap. They fake it. Look up top. See if they can keep him out. Oh, boy, that's a big play.
That is a big play.
Boy, that's hard to believe. That time it was number 44, the holder, Ray Alger. And I don't know if that was a busted play or
It
not.
looked like the snap got back low, but he looked like when he picked it up, he knew exactly what he was doing. He rolled out right away. I couldn't see a receiver really in the open, so it didn't look like it was going to be a design fake, but he did a heck of a job cutting back and diving in the end zone.
And that is a big impact, folks,
Sure.
because the